Hey guys, it's Will. So over the last year, I really wanted to learn how to get better with YouTube. And so I searched on YouTube tons and tons of phrases: how to grow a following on YouTube, how to get more subscribers on YouTube, how to get more views on YouTube. And because I had the free time, I would watch every video I could find from beginning to end. And some of these videos were, you know, 20 to 30 to 40 minutes long. But I thought to myself, you know, if I committed, having read all these, success books, if I committed, I know I would get some type of advantage over other people because they would be too lazy to watch the video from beginning to end or whatever else. So I watched video after video, and as the weeks went by, I discovered more and more channels. And obviously, what I would do would be I would check the subscriber count of the person who uploaded the video before I would watch it. And oftentimes, I would choose the video if it had more subscribers, if this guy was reputable. But over time, what I found was that more and more people who had a lot of subscribers had sat down and literally did a whole video seriously telling you for free what their best strategies were, what they did to create a video. They had literally sat down and done this whole thing and created this free video. And it would sometimes be 30 minutes long, 40 minutes long, but I would watch these things. And, after a few months, I'd watched a few hundred. And the more and more I watched them, I would do some more digging because I realized that sometimes the better ones were hard to find. They were tough to dig and actually finding all that junk online. So I would do all sorts of stuff to find these, and I was so interested in this, and I was so inspired to learn about it because I was just so excited about it. It was free stuff, and I wanted to learn more and more. And I wanted to see if this guy knew something or had something that the other guy didn't. And it was just exciting. It was almost like a hobby in it of itself. And so the story goes on. I started going on to big YouTube channels. Last year there was 1,000 channels with at least 1 million subscribers each. Like, that blew my mind. Now there's 1,200, and that number is growing rapidly every single year. And having said that, you can imagine how many channels were out there. So I did all sorts of extensive stuff. Like, I would find the top subscriber list. Social Blade has a great list of like top 1,000 most subscribed channels, and I would go to each one and I do a lot of searching using the search function to see if they had done any type of advice video or interview where they even mentioned the subject. And I would just search and watch it. And my perspectives and goals have changed over the years after like seeing a lot of different things. And I don't want to be famous anymore. Maybe at one point I did. I don't think you should do any of this for the wrong reasons. You shouldn't do it to get famous or anything like that, because it's kind of like what's the phrase, chicken and egg or ball and chain. But oftentimes, if you do it for the wrong reasons, that will show off, and people won't watch. Or the other thing is that you'll do it and you won't enjoy it enough to persevere through and keep at it. So those are things I just want to say. But anyhow, I was really interested in this because I just found it very interesting, and I felt like I was being productive and so forth. So I did all sorts of extensive like search phrases and stuff like that, and I was just very surprised because when you do dig deep digging like that, sometimes you'll find incredible stuff. So that's what I did. I would find random interviews or talks or discussions or conferences. Sometimes they would have like 100 views. Like, no one would watch the content. And sometimes literally it would be like an hour-long conference, and maybe 40 minutes in, he gets this YouTuber with millions of subscribers, he gets asked one question on YouTube advice. And I literally watched the whole thing for that one moment, and that's happened numerous times. And again, it goes beyond that. Like, if I told you everything, you'd probably just vomit. But to me, I enjoyed it. It was interesting to me because I thought, and I'm not gonna lie, I learned some stuff from all these sources that, benefited me. And sometimes it was like, oh, I didn't, that's one thing I didn't hear before. More often than not, though, it was like stuff I had already heard before because, when, and this happens a lot. Sometimes when you read a lot of different information and you consume a lot of different advice from a lot of people, you start to notice similar trends and similar advice. And so I would do this, and then I would stumble across YouTube channels who actually, their whole channel was dedicated to this. So I would watch every single one of their videos, even though they had hundreds, and I would learn all sorts of stuff about how YouTube ranked their algorithm and how YouTube, would factor in different things and how all sorts of different things would matter for a channel, from how you title it to the thumbnails to branding. And it would go on and on. Sometimes people would get too technical to the point where I thought it was a little bit too much, because some of these YouTubers, like, they were never into all that technical stuff. Like, they did what they did because they enjoyed it. Having said that, like, even like the ones who really just did it for fun, like, I'm not gonna lie, like it or not, I'm sure all of them have done a little bit of YouTube programming, because like it or not, like, if you look at some of these people, whether it's PewDiePie or whoever else, you'll notice like they've started doing custom thumbnails. They've shortened their videos. They don't do unedited 30-minute long videos anymore. They provide constant value throughout the entire video. And long story short, I watch hundreds of these things, and on top of all that, for fun, every day or every other day, whenever I had time, I would just pick out 2 or 3 new channels that I'd never watched before that had a lot of subscribers. And you can only imagine how many are in the 100,000 to a million mark. There's like tens of thousands. And so I would just pick out 1 or 2 every day and just study their channel. And literally, it was interesting to me. And I would just see like new things. And I would study vlog channels and pranks channels. And it would be like, okay, this is very interesting. All the vlog channels, at least the successful ones, they all capitalize every single letter of every word of their title. And 80% of the time they would use an exclamation mark, most likely 2 exclamation marks. Sometimes they do 1, sometimes they do 3, sometimes they do a question mark, but it was almost always exclamation marks. This is interesting. And then I look at some of the vlog channels that weren't doing so well or were like lesser off, and I'd be like, okay, they don't do that. They use lowercase for their titles. Interesting. And I'd study like everything. I'd look at the actual channel, and I'd see like, okay, this guy uses a branded intro. Okay, this guy uses a call to action and end card. And sometimes it got me sick, and I would, on top of that, I would go to like conferences, and sometimes the people there would just they'd make me a little sick because I'm not like so technical, and some of those people, all they cared about was money, and they're just so technical about stuff like how do I market this if I use this and did this, and then if I paid for traffic like this, and then I sent them to like a landing page, like that just made me sick to my stomach because they're just like so in it for the money, and they didn't look at YouTube like as anything else. That wasn't really what I was after, and it made me sick. But I really learned a tremendous amount. So that's my abridged story. I think I covered most of what I've done, but I mean, there's even stuff beyond that. So that took me about 10 minutes just to give you my story. But if you're still here, that means you are committed to a certain level. and maybe you want to succeed. So that's why I made this video. And I didn't make it in a way to, like, keep people engaged and keep the watch time as high as possible, although it helps YouTube rankings. I kind of did, but um, most likely this video is not going to be edited very much. And really, I just wanted to um, make it and structure it in a way to help people who are really committed, who really want to help their YouTube channels out. So now I'm going to just give you some of the best stuff that I can, uh, having learned all of this enormous amount of information, and just like help you as much as I can. So biggest things. The first thing is just, I guess, actual video content, because there's hundreds of things that will improve the amount of views and subscribers you can get that I can talk about. But at the end of the day, if your videos suck and no one wants to watch them, then it doesn't matter. So like, find something that really is good. And you may be in that small minority where perhaps you have really good videos and people would love to watch them, but you're getting 0 views and no one finds out about you. And if that's the case, then you want to promote your stuff. Put it on Reddit. Find a correct subreddit and submit the link. And do it in a way where you're giving value rather than taking value. So the people of Reddit don't just downvote your video because it's clearly done in a way where you're just spamming people to watch your video, and they downvote you before they even give it a chance. But you want to promote it. You want to find groups and places where like-minded people who like your content will watch your videos and subscribe. There's hundreds of forums out there, if you do your digging on Google, that will love your stuff. Again, you want to give value and not take it. Twitter, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, forum communities of your specific topic, whether it's pranks or gaming or whatever. There's tons of ways of promoting your content for free. Again, you want to give, not just take. Sometimes you want to spend a good deal of time there, giving value as a community member before you even mention your video. But for the rest of you, and this is probably where you sit, like it or not, you have to ask yourself, maybe your videos do suck, and that's okay. There's 2 big ways of doing this. One is what a lot of YouTubers do. They just keep cranking out content as best as they can, knowing that it sucks. And what happens is that their practice makes them improve over time, and they slowly get better at making videos with the value, the production value, the editing, the cut.